Don't judge me. I just wish you knew. That's just like you. I miss you as I need you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, what is going on? What is going on, man? We coming through here with the six-man convo. As you already know, I am your host, K Styles, aka the Six Man, and we coming with you with a very interesting show topic for this evening. Um, let's see who we got going up in here right now. Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Look who decided to join. What happened, homie?
Well, you wouldn't believe what I was doing, but I'm gonna just leave that to myself.
Oh Lord. Did you have did he said what he said? I'll happen to slap a nigga today.
Well,
Ooh.
maybe.
Hey man. As y'all already hear that voice, that is Mad Mike Sports in the building. So
Yeah.
hey, so we got, like I said, we got a very interesting conversation going on here. And as we are about to get ready to get into this, definitely give a shout out to the boy William Amy in here. You got Xavier Littman. You got one of my fam, A137 Sauce. We got Diamond 181, Mucho, Diamonds and Pearls.
Mm-hmm.
I could sing the Beatles version. Lucy in the sky with diamonds. Um, but hey, we got Juan, aka the tactician in the building. So,
You
hey man,
probably done rubbed on 15 booties that day.
hey, they say they pay to rub on the cheek or two. Shit, you'll be doing it. Hell, we all do.
Yes, I would.
A couple conversations we're gonna have going on today here. So if you're new to the channel, you're new to the space, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button to 6MK Live. And we got one of our main disclaimers here for this channel. If the conversation offends you, please turn off right now because
Mm-hmm.
we are not in the business of being everybody's friend over here, but we in the business of entertaining and bringing the conversation that is necessary day in and day out. So, man, Mike, man, what's going on with you today, man?
I'm pretty good, man. Can't complain. Cannot complain. I got uh my cheese crackers and I'm good. Gotta have my cheese.
You got cheeses, so you got cheese. You say you got cheeses over there?
Oh, not cheese it. I'll be 40 for 10 years if I eat them damn things. Cheese crackers.
Cheese crackers. Oh, that's
That was one of my most. I've been eating cheese crackers ever since I was a damn kid. Even when we had with just the Ritz cracker the sliced cheese, and you fold it up to fit. Yeah, you fold it up and eat. Yeah,
oh
yep.
yeah, oh yeah. You put. Like you said, you fold it up into about 8 squares, and you
Hmm.
try to
Yep.
make that whole pack last like that.
Yep. Yep.
Oh yeah. You can't go wrong with those. You can't go wrong with those. But hey, man, Mike, you ready for this conversation we're about to have today? But what we're going to do, but
Yes.
what we're going to do is we're going to kick this off for the 6MK crew, aka the Falcon fans of the channel. So we always start these off with a little Falcons talk discussion. And today's
Hmm.
conversation, we're going to be talking about the impact, the possible impact of Mr. Xavier Watts and Billy Bowman Jr. So for those that have been living under a rock, these are the two of the five rookies of the 2025 class that both are safeties. Now, Mike, when you look at these two and the brain trust as to why these two were drafted back to back, what's your thoughts on them?
I don't know how I can be listening to you and not actually hear what the hell you said. I heard what you said, but I don't know if it computed. So I think I had too many crackers. All right. So what I think about what comes to mind with Billy Bowman and Xavier Watts. Um, um, See, I'm trying not to put Raheem in the middle of this, but it's difficult for me to not put Raheem because I just know what he's going to do. And this is not a shot of them. This is more of a shot at him more than anything. Like he's one of those coaches at this point in time. What I've seen from him, he's going to make sure that he gets the type, creates the type of team that he wants, especially with this secondary. It's more so the secondary. He's a secondary guy. Um, Obviously with Jeff Olberg, he's a linebacker. Nate Oley, he's dependent on those guys to be able to develop um the linebackers and the D line, and he's going to do what he wants to do with this secondary. That's one of the main reasons why. Let's keep it real. He brought a stooge in, and Jimmy Lake. He was never supposed to be here more than 1 year. Uh, and quite frankly, I'm surprised he didn't last. That he lasted as long as he did. I like you bring in a guy, the Jim Lake, that doesn't have any NFL experience as a play call and a first time defensive coordinator. Like that already tells me what I need to know. There was no experience. When you got a guy like Arthur Smith, he came in and brought Dean Pease in. Experience. Jimmy Gray, experience. All these guys were brought in with experience. And then you got this Negro, he brings Jimmy Lake and Lance Shoulders. Like Lance Shoulders, he's a safety guy, but like as far as outside of that, like it wasn't really that. So I'm saying all that to say this. I think Xavier Wise obviously is a playmaker, and he's dependent on these guys to be, to be ball hogs. He's depending on these guys to get interceptions, and um, that's a dangerous plan. But when it works, we've seen you can do some special things with it. We've seen it with the Saints. They did in 2009. They got a lot of interceptions. They got a lot of turnovers. There was a lot of crack too. Um, but Billy Bowman, both of those guys are very good at tackling. They're very good at um, very good at making plays and being physical. So I think that's the thing that I look at when I look at these guys is play making abilities. He wants playmakers on the defense side of the ball.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I know and definitely shout out. We got Jew in the building. We got Auntie Pam in here, Dre Murphy, Michael, what's going on? Appreciate y'all coming in. And I kind of want to I kind of want to take a page out of Jew's book with this. in particular as well, especially when we're talking about them trying to rebuild the middle of the field defensively, well, pass defense wise. Um, like as we already know, by looking at the tape of the Xavier Watt, we already know he kind of fits the mold of the Jesse Bills. Not Jesse Bills, but Jesse Bates. I don't know why I said Jesse Bills. I was like, what the fuck is that? Um, that sounds like a cowboy. Jesse Bills.
Yeah.
but but like you said, he kind of he's kind of he got that mold of Jesse Bates as far as being like one of like I said one of those guys who is who can play both strong and free, and like you said, just being one of them ball hawks that this defense has surely have been missing for years. It's crazy. It's crazy to hell to think that like the secondary hasn't really had a consistent um outside of Jesse Bates hasn't really had a consistent ball hawk since this is gonna sound funny as hell me saying this. We ain't had a ball hawk that consistent really since DeMonte KZ. And even though
Yeah,
he only did it for 1 year,
we haven't had that.
but that's just one of those things where, like you said, you want to have that threat in the middle of the field to know that okay, I should not be throwing this ball this way. This is what Xavier Watts is. Like you say, he's a sound tackler. He's a sound tackler. Like you said, he came into this draft. I think he said 11 career interceptions
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of forced fumbles. So yeah, I'm loving that move. So what do you think? And this is my question to you, Mike. What do you think? What are your expectations for Xavier Watt in 2025?
Xavier Watts. It's kind of difficult because we didn't really see Justin Simmons. I was about to say Justin Fields, but we didn't see.
I don't say Justin Fields, but we don't want to bring the candy man out here with that shit. Um,
Want to be up here throwing rocks and tables at the wall if I said that again. But we didn't really see what we need. I felt like we didn't see much of our defensive back that we should have outside of AJ. I thought it was very conservative. He didn't really take any chances with his guys. And I don't know if it's I just don't know with Raheem. And like I said, he hasn't really shown me anything with the defense outside of him trusting his safeties to make plays on the ball, him trusting AJ Terrell to do his thing. Like he hasn't really shown me. I thought he was very conservative. Um, I thought he was very conservative, even with Mike Hughes and Clark Phillips. Those guys didn't play as aggressively as I thought because for me, like if you look at Clark, when he's aggressive, when he's allowed to do what he does well, I thought he played well. I mean, the dude had a pick six, a game-winning pick for us. So it's like when he was aggressive, they played well. But like as soon as he started acting like a little beast and backing up 7, 8 yards away from the ball, that's when we started to see our. I mean, a lot of it had to do with the linebackers too. I'm not gonna say it's just DBs, but that's when he just started getting very conservative. So what I don't know, man. I just don't know. I trust the players I like. I don't say trust the players, but I like the players, their skills. But I just don't. It's nothing about Raheem right now that I'm trusting. It's nothing. I'm really more focused on Jeff Ulbrich than I am the players and Raheem. That's what I'm focused up on. I don't have no confidence in Raheem. Zero. He hasn't shown me anything. I just don't know what he is. I just don't know what he is. Which is sad because you've been in the league 20 years.
Mm, mm, mm. Now, now, like you said, we don't know what the depth charts are going to be. What the projected depth charts? Like you said,
Hmm.
9 times out of 10 is probably going to be Jordan Fuller probably starting.
And that's why I
At,
say that too. Because he hasn't my bad kid, but he doesn't play young guys like that. That's why I said I just don't know. Like Raheem hasn't shown us anything consistent outside of him not trusting young players. He don't trust young players, and I think Magnus said this on his show also.
yeah.
He trusts Kate Ellis. I think we can say that he trusts Kate Ellis. I mean, Kate Ellis is playing linebacker, safety, the edge. That like he trusts him. Like anybody with experience, he trusts. Like sometimes you got to throw some out. You got to like Jew.
I already knew Drew was
Oh,
gonna come with the fire. I already knew he was
yeah,
coming
that's
with the
what I'm
fire.
saying, man. There's nothing like he's not aggressive at anything outside of talking. Like he talk a very good game, and it makes you believe in him. But when you look at the results, you like, what has he done?
Yeah, but like I said, just solely just based on the resume. I mean, that is a very viable question. Um, because the thing, like you said, and I think by them bringing in, like I said, I'm just gonna keep it honest with this. They brought these guys in because they don't know what the status of DeMarco Hellams is going to be.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let's just be honest on that. They don't know. They don't know what the status of him is. Is he going to be ready?
Mm-hmm.
Do they trust him? And like you said, and with DeMarco Hellams kind of being a fan favorite right now in Falcon Land, you got to have an insurance policy. And like you said, in as much as I do like DeMarco Hellams is a great glue guy, locker room guy, great special teams guy for this team. But by them bringing in Xavier Watts and Billy Bowman, it just basically tells me that they may not be as high on DeMarco Hellams as most Falcon fans would like them to be. I could be wrong,
Yeah.
but it's on a wait and see process.
His resume. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my thing is like, just be honest. If you think I'm being a little bit too harsh on him, but the thing is, I want to be proven right when it comes down to Raheem. I want to be proven wrong. Excuse me, because like when you look at it, I just say it's like, all right, what on this defense that you can say that I've seen that say, all right, this is his imprint. This is his imprint on this defense. Outside the line, and 8 yards off the damn ball, like you said. Is
And
there
Jay
an
Black,
imprint?
and Jay Black here said, Ra has no choice but to play the youngest because his ass is in the five pick. Do you believe do you think that he is kind of on the chopping block right now? And do you
Doom,
think that this could be
doom,
the year to
doom,
it?
doom, 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 doom. You got no chance in
No chance,
hell.
no.
You
You
got
got no chance.
no chance in hell. Ain't no chance in hell. Raheem's on the chopping block. Ain't no chance in hell. I do not believe that. That man, look, that man done seen somebody mama butt booty ass naked sucking a camel dick or like or something. Because this dude get chances after chances after chance when he just shown nothing. Everybody say, "Oh, he's such a great guy." When? Where? What has he done? Show me. I just please somebody show me. Besides, oh man, if he finally gets his opportunity, that's what we keep hearing. If he gets his opportunity to finally build his team, he gonna get his chance to show us something. I don't need look. This is a perfect example, and it's crazy that we got these two guys on the screen right now at the bottom, but. Like when I saw Steph Curry at Davidson, I said, "Woo-wee!" I don't know what it is about that little dude. He ain't but what 6'3", 180 pounds in college, but it's something special about him. I look at Raheem, the only thing I see is his ankles and his damn teeth.
Ankles and teeth.
Yeah.
What you say? You said it sound like a bad Deep Blue Sea parody. Ankles and teeth.
Yes, it is. When you look at Raheem as a coach, what stands out? Like, ain't nobody has ever told me that outside of everybody like him. I don't care about you liking him. Shit. Like I said, I like cheese crackers, but do y'all give a damn? No.
Uh, well, but like I said, man, you're like you said, you're like you said, he's definitely and I kind of see Xavier Watts as kind of like the Jesse Bates insurance plan,
Yes.
just in case.
I think
Like
Bowman is definitely that guy that's gonna be the DeMarco Hillams of this defense.
speaking of Billy Bowman, now from what I've researched about Billy Bowman is he's kind of the same way, but like you said, he's kind of got one glaring weakness. He misses tackles like a motherfucker. But like you said, as
Mhm.
far as being a playmaker and a guy, and this is one of those cases where versatility plays a part in what
Mhm.
they want to do for the Falcons. Is he's a guy who can play that safety role and play that nickel role,
Yes.
which is like I said once again, which goes back to the middle of the defense kind of being the weakness in pass coverage last year.
Mhm.
So that's me asking you the question again, Mike. What is your thoughts on Billy Bowman and what is your expectation for him for this 2025 season? Outside of we know Raheem Morris may not play him because he's a rookie.
Well, if I'm just gonna be just with Billy Bowman, I just think they're gonna use him in situations, um, in long situations and
Hmm.
obvious pass situations where he's gonna have the kind of how the Eagles did with Cooper the fake nigga. I mean, I think that's it.
Why you had to call him Cooper the Fake? Cooper,
That ain't his name.
Cooper. I can't believe you just said that.
I ain't never seen no white cord. I thought he was an albino or something.
gonna
So
get the
he
fuck
actually
out of here.
white?
You yes. Yes, Mike. Yes, Mike. He is Jason Sehorn. Yes.
Oh, okay. But I look, I just think you're going to use him in those long passing situations. To be honest, because like I said, Raheem, if you just look at what he's done, and I'm just saying Raheem because I'm still unsure how much Jeff Ulbrich is going to have control of this defense, and I mean play calling. So if at this point,
D. Coleman said Mike's disdain for Cooper Dish has to be
I
studied.
no, I'm just no, I don't have a disdain for him. I, I really
You
thought he
you
was
called the
about it.
you called him at Cooper
Y'all
Cooper's the
know
nigga.
damn well they don't. They say albinos ain't really black. All right, y'all know that. Don't try to make black like I'm the only one. I thought he was albino.
Where you don't get on you don't get with that.
So all of a sudden, albino people
I
they
mean
black.
albinos exist, Mike. Yes, albinos exist. But no, that is
Oh.
not about that dude is from Iowa. That don't sound like albino
Yeah,
to
I
me.
know he's from Iowa. Okay, now that makes sense why that man ain't Cooper. Yeah,
But
I don't like him. I just think he overrated. I'll say that. When you sitting in the slot for 15 minutes watching them fat asses up front get after the quarterback, shit, you'll have two interceptions in the game too.
but the reason why I wanted to talk about these two guys is I know the edge rushers, Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. has been getting a lot of the attention as far as the Falcon fans concerned. And which is warranted because, like you said, I think Falcons fans are finally happy that they've addressed pass rushers. Not
Hmm.
once, but they double dipped on it.
Yes, back to back
But
season.
yeah, but at the same time, even though yes, we could talk about the sack numbers, it's another thing that gets played into this as well, and that's being able to have a secondary who's opportunistic or have opportunistic players in the secondary. And And this is kind of like one of those kill two birds with one stone type of situations here. Um, so I'm loving it. Like I said, I love it. Um, you're talking about competition in all aspects. Like you said, Bowman and Xavier Watts will both have opportunities to earn significant snaps in their present in their positions that they may be playing. Because I think they said Billy Bowman will be competing in that
Hmm.
nickel corner um position, and I think Xavier Watts. I don't think Xavier Watts. I don't think he may compete for that free safety spot, but 9 times out of 10 he's probably just gonna be backing up. He probably gonna be backing up Jordan Fuller.
Hmm.
But yeah, I just wanted to let people know the importance of having opportunistic players in your secondary is just as important as having pass rushers.
It really is.
Because what's going to end up happening is with these type of players that we do have and the players that we brought in, the quarterback's clock is going to be ticking quicker than normal. So you got to have the opportunistic guys that's going to be willing to make plays on the ball.
And plus, it give you more options as a defensive coordinator to call plays that's gonna give you the ability to get coverage sacks, and that's why having all these DBs is a good thing as well. Because everybody just assume just if you get pressure up front, you're gonna get turnovers. But sometimes you can get turnovers with just coverage sacks. So the more talented guy that you have in the secondary, the more opportunity you got to get turnovers. So I get what Raheem is doing, but like I said, man, look, I say it like this, man. It's like it's like somebody teasing you. She keep telling, "Oh, I'm gonna give you a kiss. I'm gonna give you a kiss on the cheek. Girl, look, I don't need you to keep telling me you're gonna give me the goddamn kiss, okay? Give me the kiss." That's what Raheem is. He ain't nothing but a damn teaser. He keep telling me, "Oh man, we gonna go all the way. We gonna go all the way." Oh, really? Okay, that sounds good. We're gonna be rough. We're gonna be tough, and instead you got blood and knots all over your head and stuff like that. Talking about we're gonna go all the way and we're gonna be rough and we're gonna be tough. Meanwhile, you getting your quarterback hit on through 10 interceptions, one touchdown in 5, 6 games in a row. But you telling me we're gonna be rough and we're gonna tough and yeah. Like I need to see it. So like I said, I know he may be very creative. I know that Raheem may be very good at putting players in positions where they can succeed, but until they actually succeed, how can we really take his word seriously? I think that's the biggest thing. You look. You said. I mean, we heard Grady Jarrett said he's one of the best coaches that he's ever had, and then not even a year later he gone. So how good is he really? Grady gave up. He didn't just leave. He gave up on that thing. Grady said, "Nah, I don't want to restructure my deal. I'm going somewhere else. Just cut me." On a guy that he said that was one of the best coaches ever. There's a lot of warning signs. It's a lot of warning, red sign, red warnings out here with Raheem and just him alone. I've seen what Jeff Ulbrich could do with linebackers, not only here but with the Jets. He can develop guys at that linebacker position. We're still trying to figure out where this guy. So for me, again with these DBs, I think he does a good job of putting them in position where they can get interceptions and be aggressive. But outside of that, it's not a lot. So I don't have an expectation of the Falcons actually these players um, succeeding right off the bat because we haven't had a lot of success outside of Jesse Bates, to be honest.
Richie here said, I don't think the offer's gone. He's just gonna drop in the depth chart. Like I said, man, it's going to be a very wait and see moment here. Um, yeah, go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just agreeing. It's just this is me saying in short, just it's a wait and see. I don't want Raheem to fail. I don't want people to get that message. I'm not. You gotta. You like at the end of the day, you gotta prove it. That's all. Prove it. I don't want no more talking. I don't want no more. Who the hell next? Like he said that shit in week 3, and shit, we ain't been the same since he said that shit about. And then we went to damn Kansas City. We played well, but ever since he said who the hell next after a win, look, we ain't been. We was not the same team and same defense. I don't know if y'all remember that, but he said that.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I think we all remember that.
Who the hell next? All right, okay.
Um, let's see, get some of these comments in. We got some more comments in here. See. So pretty much everybody's saying in the comment section that pretty much D offer might be on his way out. And it's a possibility because he's really on a 1 year deal.
Uh-huh.
So I think so they're really going to be basing his future on if he can out earn Clark Phillips and Billy Bowman. Now if he can't do it, yeah, then his ass is gone. But let's see. Let y'all go ahead and start asking some of the questions on the first topic up in here. Like I said, man, we got 63 people in here. Like I said, if you haven't hit that like button or shared the stream, I say definitely go ahead and do it. It's gonna be good for the algorithms, not only for this channel, but like you said, just for y'all in the Atlanta Falcons space. Yeah, Drew really on goddamn Raheem's head, boy. He like, coach, I got all the players.
Oh, it ain't just
it
me. Look, I'm just saying, man.
it ain't just us. Like you said, a lot of people are looking at Raheem now as like, dude, you like you said, they gave him a pass because of Jimmy Layton. Now it just comes down to okay, now we done blame Jimmy Layton for defensive failures last year. You brought in your boy. It's your turn now.
We ain't gave you two edge guys to play with, so three edge guys: Floyd, Pierce, and Walker. So you ain't got no excuse.
Right. So I'm not like I said, I don't like for me, I don't want to see defenses playing soft. I want them I didn't say they gotta be uber aggressive neither, but I just want to see a medium balance.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't see that medium balance like we think we gonna see, and we just see straight up soft shell coverage the whole time, it's gonna be a lot of pissed off Falcon fans because it's gonna be okay, you said it was this guy. You said it was that guy. What
Mm-hmm.
the hell is this? The Falcon fan don't want to hear that shit no more.
Well, we don't want to hear nothing about it. It's everybody else's fault.
Hmm.
Roster has improved greatly.
Yeah,
So
we got young Jay Knight in the building, y'all. We got the young Knight in here. We got Dreddy, Southside. Appreciate y'all coming in. Like I said, man, y'all go ahead. Y'all start putting in y'all questions in on this topic right here. Um, Go dedicate the next 5 to 7 minutes on questions on the Billy Bowman and Xavier Watts topic, and then we're gonna move into the main event for tonight's show.
mm-hmm.
And said D. Coleman said that Terry turned limited draft capital to one of our most promising drafts in years. All eyes on Ryan right now.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. You got two of the top five pass rushers in the draft, and you literally
One.
got two of the top five safeties, two of the top five safeties in the draft.
Mm-hmm. You
And
signed.
fucked around got one of the best corners in undrafted free agency. Yeah.
And look, look. Enough talking. Enough talking about what the players gonna do. It's all eyes on you.
All eyes on me. Um, let's see. Dre Murphy asked the question: do y'all see Hitman Helms making it now that they brought in three freaking safeties? Yes,
Yes.
Helmet Helms is still gonna be on the team.
Mm-hmm.
The
He just
thing, the
got a
thing
role.
that yeah, he's a role guy, and he's always was going to be a role guy anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, he what he helps bring is the special team side of things,
Yes.
and he brings it, and he also brings it as as a nickel linebacker as well. So, like you said, that he has a role on this team. I can't see him not being on the team. I'd be stupid enough to say that he doesn't have a role on this team. Appreciate the question, Dre. Um, okay, close that out. Um, Drew asked a question here. Says, "Do you guys see Jesse Bates getting an extension? I think these guys are insurance policies." What you got on that,
Yeah,
Mike?
yeah. If Jesse start acting stupid and talking about he wanted another $50 million, yeah, his ass, his ass.
What is
I
it?
wouldn't give Jesse Bates that much, to be honest. You give it to him one time. It ain't no need to keep going back to that, especially when you got a young team and a young quarterback. You still gotta, because Drake gonna need his money. That's coming up real soon. The possibility of at some point the Falcons wanna lock up Bijan Robinson early. They may want to do that, and I just don't think it's a good idea despite what Jesse Bates has done for us. It's just good long term, and that's the key, long term, because this is still a young team. Jesse Bates been in the league. He getting closer to that 30 mark, if not already there. It's just not it's not a wise deal to be giving guys like Jesse Bates another $40 million, $50 million.
Mm-mm. I think well, cause what he got like 2 years left,
Mm-hmm.
or like he got like 2 years left. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I can double check though, but I think it is right.
Um, let's see.
Mhm. Yeah. So, like I said, I mean, he got 36 million, and then you look at his numbers with the Falcons, it has increased. So the Falcons are probably saying to themselves, yeah, he gonna try to ask for more money because he, in his mind, he may have outplayed his contract. Like I said, that's 27. So he'll be 30 and 27, still young, but like the fact that he's still young and playing at this level, yeah, I can see him possibly wanting a big contract, and the Falcons are not going to spend money like that when you got the the two young guys and Jalen Walker and Pierce that you probably want to build around.
Okay. Randy Weather, what's going on? Let's see. We got any more questions? Um, yes, Richie said, "Do you think Bowman and Watts will pick up the system?" Let's see. He said, "Do you think they'll pick up the system we run in the first year?"
No, I don't think so. It's gonna be a
Not
long.
expect, not expecting to.
Mm-mm.
Not expecting to. Like I said, the thing is, my mindset is I'm not gonna put the pressure for them to
Right.
be there year one. Like I said, they could surprise the hell out of all of us.
Mm-hmm. No, it could look. They could. There's always that possibility of each player being special. I mean, there's always that possibility. But to pick up a system in year one when you have no experience with this coach, like that doesn't happen. Like I said, being able to make plays versus picking up a system almost immediately as a rookie. Nah, like I said,
It,
you got to be special. I'm talking about
it's
super.
all it's all going to depend on how well the front seven plays.
Mm-hmm.
A great front seven can help with the development of a secondary player, just
Yes.
like that. Let's see, get that up on it here. You think Billy Bowman missing so many tackles can be fixed? Yeah, yeah. If he working under Lance Schultz, it could be fixed pretty quickly.
Yeah, Lance Shoulders, he definitely is a fundamental safety. Like that's what he does. If you're not familiar with his game, so he's very familiar with the fundamentals of tackling and being in the right spot.
Yeah, the thing with Billy Bowman, he like I think Michael might be in here, and and I have to give him a shout out on this because he brought it to my attention. He said that Billy Bowman reminds him of Tyrann Matthew,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to go back and look at it like, yeah, he does. But like you said, he's such an aggressive safety. That's where a lot of those missed tackles come from because he's such an aggressive ass safety.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, man, they like you said, they'll calm young boy down. So I think he'd be good. Um, D Cole said, folks gonna have to give some grace. These guys got some growing pains. Hell, Penn is gonna have a 3 interception game this year, part of the learning curve. Yeah,
You always have those bad games. If I'm not mistaken, you almost had two last year, but I think one of them got called back or something like that. But yeah, those happen, man, with young players.
exactly, exactly, exactly. Now that's the ideology of being a realistic fan of a team. Is
Mm-hmm.
not expect. It is showing support, knowing that a guy could be special, but also giving him the grace to actually be that young guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Michael, there you go. Saying they both had tackling issues starting off the rip. But yeah, but like you said, like you said with Bowman, the fact that last couple of years he had 3 pick sixes and all kind of other things like that. Yeah, they gonna work with him on that because the thing is you want to maximize that ability like that. You want to maximize that the best you can. All right. So we got 47 minutes in here. Mike, you ready for the main event?
Dun, dun. Yes, sir.
As everybody that's watching right now, are y'all ready for the main event?
Are you ready?
All right. Now, this part of the show, well, this topic may not necessarily be Falcons related, but this is a very interesting topic that's going on right now, and I've been a part of these conversations the last few weeks, and I'm trying to ignore it, but it seems like I ain't gonna have a choice. All right, now, Mike, before I ask this, I want to ask everybody a question in today that's watching right now. What is your when you think of the NBA, when you think of players, what is your criteria of who would you consider to be a GOAT style player? What is your definition of the GOAT?
Well, I don't think there's one particular aspect in the greatness because greatness in itself is domination, is dominant, is winning, is the attitude, all that goes into one. So the first one I'll say, no, dude, don't do that. We're gonna get a criteria. We're gonna get to that. All right, we're gonna get to that, Juju. Um, it's your ability to obviously it's your skill set one. Um, your skill set, your overall skill, and then two, your ability to lead. Winning is always a part of that, but I think consistency is one of those things that is overblown to a certain extent. Why? Is because like if you're not consistently dominating, but you consistently putting up numbers, is that really a sign of greatness? You know what I'm saying? Because some people, for example, like a guy like Kevin Love, like when he was with Minnesota, he was putting up 20 and 15. You know, that dude's averaging 25, about almost 25 points a game and 15, almost 15 rebounds every game. Every game. But a lot of people associated that with him playing with a bad franchise. And then when he went to play with LeBron, those numbers dropped off dramatically. So that's what I mean by it's like, all right, yeah, a guy can look dominant when he has a certain types of numbers, but if you put him by himself when he plays with people, then you gotta. So it's like I said, it's a number of things, but a lot of people would just say, not everybody would just say, all right, championships. But it's like with those championships, with those stats, are you equally as dominant?
Okay. Okay, I like that. I like that. So basically what you're saying is it's solely just subjective based off what you're basing it on how you feel.
Basically, yeah.
Now, my opinion, a lot of times when it comes down to these conversations, as far as the GOAT conversations, especially when it comes to team sports, and this is my honest opinion, there is no such thing as a GOAT. You can't say, like you said, one particular person can never be the greatest of all time. Why? Because everybody's ideology of who's the greatest of all time is subjective to based on who you are asking.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be based on how certain people feel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like I said, and with this conversation in itself, you got some people that will say LeBron James is the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
You got some people that say Michael Jordan is the GOAT. Hell, you got some people that may say, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the GOAT. It's all solely based on who you ask. But my question, but the reason why I want to have this conversation, I want to address some things that's been going on with this conversation that I feel like that is unfair to either player. And it's this idea that we people on both sides of the camp can't agree to disagree on anything, or what I would say is if you believe that LeBron James is the GOAT, or if you believe that Michael Jordan is the GOAT, that we're literally sitting here having fucking crash outs from people, and people getting in their feelings if people don't agree with what you think. This, like I said, this is a universal reaction, and I think it's unfair for the conversation itself, because I'm gonna use a line that Juan says: you cannot be the GOAT if there's different eras and different rules at different times,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fair.
You can't. You can't say you're the greatest of all time if you haven't played against some of the best.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say, all right, if you didn't play against Magic, if you didn't play against Bird, if you didn't play against Kobe, if you never played against T Mac, you never played against a lot of these guys, and you've actually, and this is what I mean by it's like, yeah, you can dominate in your era, but like if you played against some of the best and you did not have some of your best game and you had an average game against some of the best, that's not consistency. And that's why I say like a lot of people look at consistency so as a numbers thing. But like we've seen time and time again with guys in football who've had 100 catches, and then the next year they end up dropping off the face of the earth. We were just talking about with Miles Austin.
Wow.
He had like 3 years where he was, he was in the argument of one of the best Dallas Cowboy receivers of all time, and he just fell off. You know what I'm saying? He had good numbers, but like he ended up falling off. So we seen guys too in NBA that have scored 20 points a game at DeMar DeRozan, and nobody cares about anything he does. Like ain't nobody saying he's a Hall of Famer. Nobody's saying that. But he
Right.
put up numbers consistent. So this is one reason why I was like look at LeBron, look at Michael, and you have to put them together because the greatest of all time is assuming that he's greater than the people that we consider to be the goats. So if he hasn't played against these guys or he haven't played against the best and dominate those guys, how can you say that he's the greatest?
Right. Now, 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 I know y'all may have seen these conversations going on online about who is the greatest between these two. And like I said, I said, if I'm just going just solely, if I had to choose between the two, the main question that you would have to ask is who is believed to be the standard as far as excellence between those two? That's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the same conversation that we had when you're talking about guys like Muhammad Ali,
Mm-hmm.
when you're talking about guys like Tom Brady.
Ooh,
Well, go ahead, Mike.
you just said something right there. Do people know why that Muhammad Ali is regarded as the greatest of all time?
Go ahead, Mike. Go explain to him.
He's not regarded as the greatest of all time because he never lost. He's not regarded as the greatest of all time because he didn't like he he dominated every fight the exact same way. Muhammad Ali is regarded as the greatest of all time because he faced all of the boxers in that time and he won and he dominated a lot of them. Now he did lose obviously to a couple of guys, the Fraziers and whatnot, but he fought and against the greatest of one of the greatest eras of all time. So he's regarded as the GOAT because he fought most. He got you talk about the most title defenses, the most wins against top tier boxers. He has all that.
Hmm.
So that's why he's regarded as. So this is what I mean. Like if you played against some of the greatest and you lost, how can you be regarded as the greatest?
Right, right. Because if we're going, like you said, the thing is, if we're going off the talking points of, well, if like let's say, let's say one of the major talking points that's always used is based on the players that they've played around or the players that or let's look. The one of the main talking points that's always used in this debate is it's based on the players that they played with is the reason why they won championships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what I'm saying is you'll have a lot of people who are like super LeBron fans will tell you that Jordan, the only reason why Jordan won those championships is because he played with Scottie Pippen.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the hypocrisy in that talking point in itself. LeBron James won championships with D Wade,
Yes.
Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving.
Chris
He's won
Bosh.
them with Chris Bosh. So that talking point in itself becomes mute
Mm-hmm.
because if you look at every major guy that has played in this NBA, every legend that's played in this NBA, the majority of these guys have played with great players on their teams.
Mm-hmm.
So it's no, like you say, it's no reason to defame one guy for playing with a great player where the majority of the Hall of Famers that won NBA titles have played with great players. You could talk about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with Magic Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
Michael Cooper, Oscar Robertson. You could talk about Larry Bird with, with Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale.
Mm-hmm. Are they less valuable players because they played next to a Hall of Famer? But
Exactly.
because we want to make a case for the guy that we feel is the greatest of all time, you want to demean a guy for playing with someone. When you can
Right.
look at both cases and say, hey, both of y'all had quality players. Doesn't matter the era. You played against a Hall of Fame. You played with the Hall of Fame.
Hmm.
And if we want to be real about this, this is why a lot of LeBron fans, why it is hypocritical, because Jordan only played with two Hall of Famers, three Hall of Famers, if you really want to be real about it. He played with Tony Kukoc, Dennis Rodman, and Scottie Pippen most of his career. LeBron on his hand, he done played with Kyrie, Hall of Famer, Kevin Love, Hall of Famer, Chris Bosh, Hall of Famer, D Wade,
D
Hall of
Wade,
Famer,
Hall of
Ray
Fame,
Allen,
Ray Allen, Hall of
Ray
Fame.
Allen, and we still going. Luca is on the page to be a Hall of Famer. AD on the page to be a Hall of Famer. We can just keep on going on and on. So it's not fair for LeBron fans to put down Michael in regards to like who he's played with when Michael only played with certain guys. And kid, we was actually having a conversation about um why why is Michael Jordan beloved, and you said, do you remember what you said about him and his commitment to the Bulls organization? Why you think people dislike Michael Jordan?
Yeah, because he was one of the major guys that kind of it was the loyalty to the Chicago Bulls franchise, despite the bullshit they had going on, is that people kind of looked at it as a guy that never ran away from. They feel like he never ran from the challenge.
Uh-huh.
They look at Jordan as being the guy who, and that's the same thing people say about Kobe as well. They
Uh-huh.
look at it as kind of being the guy that stuck through it Because you have to remember with the Chicago Bulls was a trash ass franchise for years.
Yes, yes. They
They was
worse than
god
the Hawks.
awful.
They were way worse than the Hawks.
Yeah, they was god awful. So they looked back, like I said, not only did they look at the sport appeal of Jordan, the marketability of Jordan, and his ability to really take chances as far as with the shoe deals and you
Mm-hmm.
know the style of play that he has. That's why people love Jordan so much. I know a lot of people love LeBron James because LeBron James is he's the lovable guy. Everybody loves LeBron James because as of right now, it, in the situation itself, he's more lovable off the court
Mm-hmm. You would
than
think,
Michael Jordan was.
but those are two different personalities in regards to Mike and LeBron. LeBron cares about his image and how the media portrays him. Jordan doesn't care. Never really cared. Not to say that he doesn't do things in the background and say, "All right, I'm going to protect my image," but LeBron goes overboard when it comes down to his image and certain things. Mike, he's gonna play his game. He's gonna play the game, and regardless of how people see it, um, he gonna stick to his point of view. He's always stuck to it. I mean, down to the negative, the perceived negative with Isaiah Thomas. He never liked Isaiah Thomas, and Isaiah Thomas never liked him. He didn't care that the media wanted to keep, you know, egging on so those guys can fight and argue. Jordan said, "Look, next question. I don't like him. He don't like me. Let's go on." He didn't do that. You know, a guy like LeBron, what is LeBron has done in several situations is saying, "All right, next question. We're not going to respond to that," or you know, I've seen what LeBron has done in the background to get certain guys fired. Not to say that Michael Jordan hasn't done that, but LeBron's is a lot more, and that could be due to the media and the social media boom that LeBron has indeed done things to to get people fired and to get players traded and all this type of stuff. Um, but there are things in regards that make these guys so different. They're a lot alike, but they're so different in a lot of ways, and that's one of the main reasons why I don't like getting in this conversation because these guys are two totally different players and two totally different people off the court.
Right now, I don't watch plenty of podcasts having this conversation, and I've seen a lot of people kind of now. The game is a lot different now than it was back in the 80s and 90s. That, like I said, that's just the automatic gift. I don't think anybody can deny that.
Mm,
Would you deny that, Mike? That the game is completely different?
no, no, definitely wouldn't deny it.
Yeah,
I'm a hooper myself,
but
so it's
but
definitely different.
but I kind of think where a lot of the Jordan fans kind of get kind of get and like I said, we're having the conversation here. We're not afraid to have this conversation. This is not. That's the one thing we don't do. We don't run away from a conversation, even if it's uncomfortable. Now, I think a lot of people that are like really like pro Jordan and where this war between the Jordan fans, the pro Jordan fans, and the pro LeBron fans, it always seems like it always comes down to the quote unquote competition of the eras that they played in. And and I kind of had a conversation with somebody earlier this week about this, where he made the talking point of Jordan is only good because of Pippen, and then like I said, that's why I countered it with that same argument. But then he came with the next argument and said, well, Jordan played against a bunch of plumbers and construction workers in his era compared to what LeBron played in today's era.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the most disrespectful comments you can ever make right there.
Yeah. Yeah, to call these guys plumbers that Jordan played with a bunch of, he played against a bunch of plumbers and stuff like that. When guys, all they doing is standing around the 3-point line and shooting threes. They're not showing
Hmm.
any versatility in their game. They can't. A lot of guys can't. They can't rebound. They can't play defense. They have no mid-range game. They can't dribble. All they do is stand on the 3-point line and wait for a shot to be passed. Wait for the ball to be passed to them so they can shoot. Is that really skill set? Standing at the 3-point line and shooting?
We don't know. well, the reality is I have with that is this is why I said that the games are completely different now than what they are back then, because we've had this conversation before, Mike, and we've had this conversation on this channel. The biggest difference between the 90s basketball and today's basketball is the identification of what a role player is.
Yes.
This is the biggest difference between 90s basketball and today's basketball. Today's basketball, you don't necessarily have role players because everybody kind of plays the same. It's a wide open game. It's pick and roll, pick and pop,
Mm-hmm.
drive and kick style game, where you pretty much have a lot of people that have more of the green light to be able to shoot those threes, to be able to take those wide open threes like that. Pretty much everybody's in today's game, damn near everybody is spot up shooters. And
Everybody
that's what today's game is. Today's game is a wide open pick and pop, drive and kick game. This is what today's game is. The '90s game was different because you had identified role players. Everybody didn't have the green light to shoot threes. We're seeing it right now with the Boston Celtics New York Knicks series right now.
Oh boy.
The Boston Celtics are down 2-0 in a series that they have no business losing in.
Because they want to do the same thing over and over and over again.
You live by the three, you die by the three, and that's what the Celtics team is built on. Even though you have a multitude of guys who can do a multitude of things, everybody fall in love and die by the three, Paul. And this is why I say this too. While we're sitting up here having this discussion, while we're sitting here having this discussion about who's the GOAT between LeBron James and Michael Jordan, Mike, you're gonna like this.
Mm-hmm.
Is one guy's name is sneaking up into this conversation that everybody is not paying attention to.
Mm-hmm.
Who that guy I'm talking about, Mike?
It's the chef, baby.
Steph Curry's name is starting to pop up into this conversation a little bit more and more every year now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
when I'm talking about GOAT conversation, I'm not talking about he's the top three best player of all time. I'm talking about the GOAT conversation as the some of the top 10 players of all time. He's starting to sneak into this conversation. But
Mm-hmm.
D. Coleman here said, hell, even in the 2010s had role players. Where's the Reggie Evans, the Sean Livingstons, the
Yes.
Leandro Barbosas? They don't
Yep.
exist anymore.
Mm-mm. Man,
Analytics has destroyed the NBA, and the NBA's ratings is the reason why it's like that.
the 3-point ball is really destroyed because what you're saying with the Celtics are 20 of 100 in the last couple of games. Okay, 20 out of 100 3-point shots they've missed
They've hit on less than 30% of their three balls in the last two games.
in the last two. But that's again, that's what they've kind of taken that away from. Everybody has to have the same skill.
Because I'm trying to think. I think it was DeMar DeRozan who actually had an interview, and
Mm-hmm.
he was talking about how he used to get cussed out by coaches because he took mid-range jump shots.
Yep. Yep. I remember that. I
He
remember
got
that.
he used to get cussed out by his coaches because he took mid-range jump shots, even though they were open.
Mm-hmm. Because they consider that a spacing problem.
hmm And
Don't
Randy here
want
said
guys
the
taking
best
that shit.
coaches, the best coaches make the players who they are. They are the true goats.
I mean, that's what you seeing with Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr's doing that. That's why you see Golden State can they always in the middle of the championship or close to it because he allowed Draymond to do what Draymond does. Steph, guys like Zaza Pachulia, JaVale McGee, all those guys. Wiggins, like he allowed those guys to do what they do best.
Right.
But that's
But
like I said, that's the problem.
like I said,
But I
Jordan and I like LeBron. But I tell y'all right now, my favorite player all time is Shaquille O'Neal.
I mean everybody know my favorite player right
Now,
now.
like you said, now if he took it as now if he was in as shape as he should have been, he could have been a true GOAT.
Yeah, yeah, he didn't
But
take
that's
it.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's all subjective. Georgia tells his boy, shut up. He told shut the hell up. He talking about you can't add JaVale McGee. He got rings with everybody.
I mean, I mean,
He
shit,
ain't lying.
he's a role player. He did his job.
hmm Right. Exactly. And like Juan said, most of the NBA games now are 3-point shootouts.
Mm-hmm. Who can hit the most threes in the least amount of time, the shortest amount of time?
But I will say this. Well, LeBron James is in a very, very interesting situation right now because hold on, we got a oh wow, I didn't see this one. Hey, hold on. Shout out, we got a 4.99 super chat. Let's get a GA.
What's
Man, that was a
happening,
while
man?
back ago. I didn't even see this going on, man. We appreciate you. He said, been a minute, much love. Definitely appreciate it, man. Definitely appreciate it. Um, like I said, man, like I said, we're having this conversation about LeBron and Jordan not to necessarily be like, okay, I believe this guy's the GOAT. Fuck you, deal with it, type shit. No,
Mm-hmm.
we're giving you the reasons why people consider these guys, basically consider one guy the GOAT and the other one maybe not. That's what the conversation is about.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I do want, as much as I would get on the Jordan super fans, and believe you got some Jordan super fans out here that's crazy as hell. But from my
Mm-hmm.
personal experience, it's the LeBron James super fans that's really acting a complete ass right now.
Yeah, they don't even want to have a conversation about it. I'm talking about a real conversation without, you know, nitpicking or ignoring a lot of things that should be a factor.
Hmm.
All these things should be a factor. The fact that you're under 500 in championship games, that should be a factor. The fact that, you know, like we can look at Michael Jordan and say, um, and this is what's been said. Like, all right, Michael only played with Scotty, or you can look at Mike and say, all right, when he wasn't with Phil Jackson, he wasn't a winner. You know, all the things go like Michael Jordan had to learn how to be a team player. That's why they brought Phil
Yeah.
Jackson, Tex Winter in. He had to learn how to be a team player because when he came in, the dude was averaging about damn 33, 35 points a game
Jordan
without.
got his Jordan got his ass towed out the frame the first
Mm-hmm.
6, 7 years in this league. He got his ass towed out the frame.
Mm-hmm. So he had
Him
to
and
learn.
Scotty, him and Scotty got their asses towed out the frame because Scotty didn't come in as a straight up Hall of Famer neither.
Mm-hmm. He had to learn.
He had to learn. LeBron had to come in this league. He had to learn. He, like I said, he came in. He was getting it. He was getting towed out the frame by certain teams in the playoffs and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's why.
when you look at the parallels of the Jordan versus LeBron James conversation, if you get your feelings out of it, you realize that their careers are really the trajectory of their careers are identical. Yes, these are two different style of players, but the trajectory of their careers are somewhat identical. You come into the league, you're a phenom coming into the league. LeBron was straight out of high school. Michael was kind of a phenom coming out of North Carolina. First 6, 7 years, it's a learning process. You're going to the playoffs, but you're getting towed out the frame.
Mm-hmm.
And then things go well. Now, this is now at the point in time when they started winning championships, the paths are different. But at the end of the day, you still won the championships. But I'm just sorry, man. These guys, these and the Jordan, some of the Jordan old heads too be annoying as fuck too. But if I gotta hear one more LeBron James parody song, I'm gonna blow a gasket. You did Man in the Mirror. You did Get Low. You did Young Wild and Free. I like, damn it, what next? You did TLC. You did Tony. Yeah, y'all gotta stop. Everybody is not going to be a LeBron James fan.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucker, y'all gonna have to deal with it. Everybody's not gonna be a Michael Jordan fan. Your ass has got to deal with it. But to come to the conclusion of this conversation, these are two of the greatest players to play this game, whether you want to admit it or not. And when I say two of the greatest, I didn't say the two greatest players, but I said two of the greatest.
There's a room of greats, okay, people. That can be more than
So
one.
so in my conclusion of this, if you don't like it, what's my favorite song? Not my problem.
Not
Problems, not my problem. Problem.
not
Niggas
not
talking
not
shit.
no problem.
Niggas
Hey,
talking shit. Bitches talking shit. Not my problem. And just enjoy the game for what it is. Because these type of back and forth is one of the major reasons why people don't watch the NBA no more. 'Cause everybody is sick and tired of the dumb shit. And guess what? We just had a conversation where we didn't shit on neither one of them. You heard that, Mike? We didn't shit on neither
yeah,
one of them.
exactly.
Did y'all notice that? We didn't shit on neither one of them.
Mm-mm. It's about the conversation.
George Test boy, I got about 9,000 songs. I got 9,000 songs that I play that I use.
He's not lying either.
I got 9,000 songs I use. Not my problem was the perfect example of this song. Let's see. Yeah. Who's underrated? John Havlicek. Bill is a legend, but John was getting them buckets and got 10 of them things.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. And then this is, and like I said, that's my message to some of these young basketball fans. You better respect the history of the game that you are so called a fan of. Because guess what happens? LeBron James ain't too far from retiring.
Yep.
Steph Curry ain't that far. Russell Westbrook ain't that far away from retiring. Chris Paul.
You better enjoy it while you have it.
Because the next generation of guys that's coming in may not equal up to what you've been witnessing the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then now what's gonna happen is now you're gonna have a basketball game that's diluted by a bunch of goddamn spot up shooters. Is that fun? Is that gonna be fun to watch?
Look, you know my thoughts on that. Go get a movie.
I'm talking about. So now y'all just gonna name all the songs I sing. Talking about beans and bologna. Um, talking about beans and bologna, living on a prayer. But man, we're gonna get up on out of here, y'all. Man, like I said, ain't got any more questions, Mike. We'll get your final thoughts, and we're gonna get up on out of here.
Stop trying to force your feelings on other people. Stop trying to force your opinions and your feelings on other people. Be
Hmm.
fine with it. Right? Just because you yell, scream, and ignore people don't mean they're gonna change their mind. People respect the fact that
Hmm.
are willing to say what you say and move on from it rather than trying to jam it down somebody's throat.
Nigga, I done got packed up so much for being a supporter of Desmond Ritter. I'm like, shit. I like, hey, it is what it is. The motherfucker failed. Yeah, I didn't throw the passes, he did.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to be willing to stand on what you, like I said, you can stand on what you believe in, but you just got to understand why people are saying things. You got to look at it from all a square has four sides. You got to look at all four sides. If you
And
only
that,
look at if you only look at one side, you're gonna miss some very valuable information from the other three that can
mhm.
complete that shape in itself.
If you
Yeah,
only look at one, look, somebody can tape $100 bill to the left side of it, but if you never look at that left side, how you know you got some free money? Because
exactly.
all you doing is you looking at the right side.
Right,
You gotta look at all sides of everything because you can really miss something very valuable if you only look in one way.
right. But we're gonna get up on out of here, y'all, man. Like I said, we definitely appreciate you. Um, definitely
And
got
again, Kev,
you,
Before you go, you see that we had a show. And everybody know how I feel about LeBron James, but you just saw that we had a almost 45-minute conversation not shitting on LeBron and not shitting on Michael. It's possible. People choose to be negative. Okay, people choose to be negative about it. People choose to be angry about something. People choose to have a personal vendetta against somebody. So it is possible to actually say something nice about people. It's all in our choices.
hmm. And once again, I will say the GOAT, LeBron James, is not the GOAT. Michael Jordan is not the GOAT. The GOAT is whoever you perceive to be the best of all time. So until next time, people, we ain't here to play.
Oh no.
The South Side. They on South Side.
Oh, y'all, people know how I feel. Look, people know how I feel about it, bro. Look, y'all heard my videos about it.
Yo, it's still fun. For Mike, it's still fun. LeBron James, but like I said,
It's still that. Don't get it
but
twisted.
but but what y'all saying is this is what having an uncomfortable conversation is, especially when you're talking about a guy you like. Fuck that.
Mhm.
But hey, man, we ain't here to play.
Oh no.
We here to stay.
Oh yeah, nigga.
You ain't gotta go home.
But you got to get the hell out of here. Oh yeah.
Ah, man. Hey, everybody said they proud of you, Mike. They said they proud of your restraint.
People heard my look. I damn seen my rants on LeBron, boy.
I mean, they see your rant. But we done had one-on-one talks about this
What?
shit.
Look, I know. Oh
Man,
boy,
hey,
boy,
I
boy.
look,
Y'all, woo wait.
y'all got the tame version of that argument. Y'all got the
Mm-hmm.
tame version of that rant. You
Oh
ain't hear,
yes,
you,
you did.
yeah,
Believe that. Woo boy.
you ain't hear the Patreon version of that rant. You ain't heard that one. But we out here, y'all. Deuces.
Mhm.
Public service announcement. The enemy closest to you will never show their true colors.